Halo Infinite is coming slowly but surely. Halo is the game that put Xbox on the map, and Halo Infinite is the game that has to get it right. After a few really bad years of Xbox One pushing people away to other platforms, and the Halo games just being met with mixed reviews at best, Halo decided to bring the franchise back to its roots with a spiritual reboot in Halo Infinite. They even put this game on the box of the Xbox Series X. They're putting all their chips in this basket, or eggs in this basket, whatever you want to say. But it's a big deal. However, the problem happened after the campaign demo reveal last summer, when the graphics weren't all up to par and people had issues with all kinds of stuff with it. Halo did the unthinkable, delayed it for not just a few months, not pulling a Cyberpunk saying, oh, we'll delay it here and there and like a month out, another month out, or whatever. They did the ultimate delay and delayed it for a whole year, which is cool though, because now it can actually launch on its 20th anniversary, I believe. Halo Combat Evolved came out in November of 2001. It's now Halo Infinite, assuming they come out in November of 2021. It can have some sentimental feelings towards that, whatever. But yeah, so this is a big one. However, after that delay, people started getting really concerned because what they saw wasn't great, and then they just stopped hearing anything. There was a huge content drought, but no more. 343 is on top of that. Beginning in December, Halo has begun sharing what whole teams are working on at 343 on Halo Infinite to provide a lot of transparency and calm the nerves of us fans who are just like grasping at the bit trying to get any information at all. So starting in December, they published an Inside Infinite December of 2020 article that kind of laid out some of the big picture stuff and informed us that we'll be getting these monthly. So last month we got one on the last Thursday of the month, and this one we got one on the last Thursday of the month. And it sounds like this month's focus is the work that they're doing to bring Zeta Halo to life and share some updated looks at the progress that's been made since last year's campaign demo. So I haven't gone through it yet. I do know that they've got some super awesome 4K screenshots in here. The picture that I'm looking at right now of the article looks really cool. So without further ado, we're going to go through it together, and you guys can share your thoughts and let me know what you think. But let's go ahead and get into it. Halo Infinite, here we go. Okay, guys, so now we are in the Inside Infinite article where they're breaking down how they create Zeta Halo, which is obviously the setting of Halo Infinite. And so let's go ahead and get into it here. They introduce who the speakers will be in here, and it sounds like it's just the campaign art lead, so Justin Dinges. Troy Mashburn, it sounds like he is the gameplay director responsible for gameplay across campaign, and John Mulkey here, who is the world design lead, taking the sandbox tools and weaving that into the character narrative art and making the missions and stuff. So whatever. So let's get into it. So this question here asked when they start doing their work, what do your team set out to accomplish each day as your guiding principles? So let's get into it. So the first one, Justin here says, as far as our artistic goals for the campaign goes, we have focused on two key themes, legacy and simplicity. That's good. Simplicity for sure. Halo 5's campaign was just all over the place and everybody hated that. So awesome. When it comes to the visual experience we're building for Legacy, we really want players to feel like they're experiencing a game that they fondly remember, Halo Combat Evolved. That goes back to being a spiritual reboot, but with modernized graphics, of course. As far as simplicity is concerned, we wanted to ensure that we steer away from overly noisy designs and details, which is a key takeaway for the team coming off of Halo 5. Wow, they at least are reflective and have some self-awareness, so that's really good. With Halo Infinite, we wanted to take this new adventure back to its roots and create a visually pleasing experience that doesn't overwhelm with unnecessary complexity, where readability and clear artistic composition prevail. This is our artistic interpretation of a beautiful world to exist within, rather than something that is purely grounded in photorealism. Both goals have been a true challenge to balance, especially against the expectations of what it means to be a next-gen title. But through some incredible team collaboration, hard work, and community feedback, we're hoping to land something that everyone will really enjoy and appreciate. Awesome. Okay. Next, the campaign experience is the result of many teams. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to skim through this. We use terms like super soldier, story-driven, spiritual reboot to describe the experience we want to deliver. Story-driven also sounds obvious, but it's a great reminder. Cool. Okay, cool. Nothing new there. And as the last one, as Troy stated, we have guideposts we use to ensure the game lives up to being a Halo experience at heart. Oh, that's cool. For instance, it is not enough that there are roads connecting various points of interest. We want to make sure there are opportunities for sick jumps. And that's awesome. They've got a trademark there, so they must make that like a joke within the team. The player can hit when racing along on a mongoose with a marine on the back. We make sure there are opportunities that allow certain weapon choices to shine, opportunities for really satisfying use of equipment options, and opportunities for a well-placed plasma coil to really put a smile across your face. One criticism I hear often, especially I think it's of Halo 5, is you would have a Halo 4 as well. You jump in a vehicle, and then your sandbox to play in that vehicle, and the campaign especially, is like a straight line. Like you literally just go. I think the mission where you get in like the big mech is literally just like a straight linear thing. So that's really cool that they're like make it fun to play in it. Sweet. Here's the image here. That Forerunner structure I feel like is going to please a lot of people. This 4K is great. It's going to please a ton of people. It's not overly designed. It looks very, very much like that would exist in Halo 3 or older games. So that's awesome. Sweet. I like what I see. Not much to break down there. What's in back there? Sweet. All right. Sorry. Here we go. All right, next. Where do you look for inspiration when it comes to bringing this world and these experiences to life? Are there specific elements of prior Halo games that you look to? Okay, so what inspires the team here, and do they have any reference points? So Justin says, our main source of artistic inspiration for Infinite's setting began right in our own Pacific Northwest backyard. That's really cool. So we made the early decision to go back to Halo's roots and recapture the Pacific Northwest's art palette on Zeta Halo. I didn't know they did that in the beginning. We immediately headed out into the mountains, forests, and valleys for not only personal inspiration, but more importantly, lots of photo reference. As humans, we can imagine what we think a natural biome should look like. We'll make lots of guesses, but until you experience it for yourself, you'll most likely never be able to fully realize it. Super cool. You can see in many of our media places. Oh, here's something. Okay. So skipping ahead. So as an example, you can see in many of our media pieces, we have introduced the idea that just below Zeta Ring's organic surface is a Forerunner framework of millions of vertical hexagons that make up the ring structure. We've been hearing a lot of YouTubers comment on those hexagons, like what are those supposed to be? And due to the extreme damage that Zeta has endured, these hexes are exposed and displaced, creating a dynamic landscape that gives us a unique visual and allows for some really fun gameplay. Very cool. Awesome. So dynamic landscape, does that mean it actually moves? This is our way of mixing a beautiful real-life biome with something fantastic and sci-fi. Super cool. That definitely fulfills Halo. You can also see this same form of inspiration and process applied to the planet sending Helios in Halo 5. Yeah, where it seemed like futuristic, but in a like primitive, natural way. Where in that case we had traveled into the slot canyons of Zion. I could see that. Cool. Next, Designing games for me is about crafting amazing experiences that pull you so far into the game you think about it even when you are not playing. It's no surprise to me the silent cartographer from Halo Combat Evolved is one mission that stands out in my memory. This mission starts with Halo theme, blah, 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 blah. This mission, cool. Yeah. Another image here. All right, let's break this one down real quick. So we've got a table that's showing the Halo ring and some Forerunner lettering. Anything else to call out? I don't think so. All right. Banished installations, as shown in this concept painting, offer a stark contrast to the lush Pacific Northwest inspired exteriors of Zeta Halo. Yeah, so they definitely have some contrast between the natural and the Forerunner, I guess, architectural, because it's not just all Forerunner. Okay, so skipping ahead a little bit, we've got a new picture of something banished, some sort of fortress, which looks really cool. Yeah, the banished architecture here looks very, very good, and the black and red are really cool. I definitely was getting tired of like everything purple. Like I think I'll miss it if it's not there a little bit, but I think it's a nice refresh while still feeling like Halo. So, okay, cool. So, what's your personal favorite aspect of this world and or the experiences therein? So, this is a really cool one. I just read ahead. One of my favorite features in the game is our time of day lighting system that is active while you are playing the game. This has been one of, if not the largest graphical feature implemented into our engine over the past few years. And this is probably one of the things they were showing when they were doing the graphics, the in-engine just reveal a few years ago when they had the buffalo running and all that. It showed some deer at nighttime, so that's probably what that was trying to get across. It allows us to create artistic scenes and settings that have vastly different visual tones and moods depending on which time during the cycle you encounter something. That's cool. So coming across a mysterious Forerunner obelisk during the day may feel peaceful and serene, where at night it might feel much more ominous and threatening. It really adds some incredible, dynamically driven visual variety throughout the experience where we were not able to have it before. I think that's really cool. One thing that I'm curious about, I know in Halo Combat Evolved, when you just encounter the Flood, they were definitely going for the tone of it being that's horror. And so I wonder if there is certain elements in the game where you're okay, that needs to feel like horror rather than the peaceful and serene, if they will lock it to a specific time, if you're in a mission. I don't know. It's interesting. So for me, games are all about the experiences they create. I want to be challenged, engaged, surprised. It's difficult to pin down. All right, that's a non-answer. Okay. I love the agency we are creating that really doubles down on the premise of delivering on the promise of Halo Combat Evolved. Enemy strongholds can be approached from any direction, and there are so many options available for how you take on challenges. So basically, the freedom is what this guy likes, which is cool. That's a direct opposite of the linear issues that people have had with the game. Okay, this is the same. This is really cool. This is really, really cool, actually. This is the same area, just throughout the different time of day. So let's see if we can cycle through them. Sweet. So let's zoom in here. So it's probably extreme. Oh my gosh, yeah. You can zoom into each one of these, I believe. So that's why it's so big. So yeah, that looks really good. It looks a little jaggedy, video game-ish, but it's work in progress, so whatever. It looks good. So yeah, you see these shadows moving. Very nice. That one's a little bit cloudier, and this one's a clearer day. This one looks like, oh no, I probably need to get inside soon, like in some video games. Oh my gosh, look at that sky. That's the type of sky I'm fascinated with seeing. I'm dude, I'm tired of city lights. I want to look up in the sky and see that. Wow, that's beautiful. Very cool. Let us continue. Okay, so this next section sounds very, very cool. So how does the world and the world's teams work? support the narrative experience. Okay, so this here says, I'm going to skip ahead. Most importantly, there is an epic visual story to be told of not only what recently happened to it, but also one that implies its mysterious past and what implications it holds for the future. That's awesome, because I've read the Forerunner trilogy saga, and Zeta Halo has some very, very cool story elements to it, pertaining like the history of ancient civilizations and stuff. So that'll be really cool if we're able to like dig into that, and like even some of the characters that were in that book show up, or you see like stuff like in the forest or caves or something. That'd be super cool. How does the introduction of new equipment and traversal mechanics like the grapple shot factor into the creation of this environment? Having a tool like the grapple shot definitely challenged us to rethink the way we build our environments, because it's such a versatile and fun mechanic that allows players to get nearly anywhere that they can reach. The art team has had the challenge of ensuring that we do allow for players to get to spots and areas that in previous titles we may have prevented them from getting to. Awesome. The good news is that not only is the gameplay that much more fun because of it, but we can also expect players to get some really awesome locations and vantage points that will further show off the beauty of the world we've created. For me, the grapple shot is an exciting example of a new gameplay feature that provides great wins for both players and devs alike. Super cool. Okay, so I think that this screenshot is our first look at the HUD in any way. So I'm going to break this down really quick. One thing that I like about it is that it's not too intrusive. Like, I didn't notice the visor until like really looking for it, where in like I think it's Halo 5's campaign, it's just like bam, like that's all you see. Super cool. So yeah, it looks good. It almost has like a Iron Man look, where it kind of fades out, like it's like curved around as well. So looks cool. Not sure what gun that is. I don't know. Sniper holds 4 rounds. This is on a PC, and it looks like some sort of stick grenade. And I don't know what that is. Alright. Anything else to see here? Don't think so. Let's check out the Warthog one more time. Cool. Cool. Moving on. What impact does co-op... Ooh. I think that's the first time we're hearing about that. What impact does co-op have on the gameplay experience across Zeta Halo? Campaign is about telling the next great chapter of the Master Chief story, and the co-op experience is about playing the story together with your friends. Super cool. So it's like, okay, you're both Master Chief, who cares? The solo gameplay experience, maybe not though, is designed to provide players with options on how they want to tackle situations. These options translate well into co-op by allowing for different playstyles. The great thing about it being a sandbox game, it means there's no right way to use a particular item or feature. I can't wait to see co-op players doing crazy stuff in combos we didn't even think of. So that's cool. I don't think that we knew that there was a co-op before this. Maybe we did and I'm just an idiot, but super cool. I mean, I guess there's been co-op in other Halos before, but I don't know. I just kind of didn't think about that. Okay, and the last thing we're going to read here is this final little excerpt that says, "Across a gap of stars." All right, here we go. As you read this month's update and look at the screenshots, you might have the same question I did when I joined the team last fall. What kind of game is Halo Infinite? Infinite's world is incredibly large, and its vast combat zones connect seamlessly to each other. Its vistas are filled with adventures that entice you to stray from the Golden Path story missions. From a distance, it might appear that we're building an open world game, but that's not really the case. Okay, so it's not truly open world. We're making a Halo game, a sandbox shooter, where our goal is to make you feel like the most powerful actor in a rich, emergent sci-fi combat simulation. For example, if you zoom into some of this month's screenshots, you'll catch glimpses of the wildlife that inhabits the ring. Halo Infinite's campaign doesn't have a crafting system, however, and you won't spend time hunting and skinning animals to make better gear for Master Chief. Spartans wear Mjolnir armor, assault armor. They don't need leather boots. What you will spend time doing is plummeting from a rocky overlook into the heart of an enemy patrol, eliminating their leader with a well-stuck plasma grenade, using your grapple shot to pull his power weapon off the ground and into your hands, and then empty its magazine into the rest of the patrol, scattering the nearby wildlife back to their burrows. I like to have the wildlife. I think that's a nice add. Which is to say, we've designed Halo Infinite so that you're freer than you've ever been to do what Spartan super soldiers do best. Survey a battle space, plan your attack, engage the enemy, deal with whatever surprises the sandbox throws your way, and then rearm for the next battle. What's different this time is that you have more freedom than ever before to choose your path through the world. Follow a hidden cave system into a well-guarded fortress, wind your warthog through a fog-filled mountain pass, capture a banshee, and fly to a floating ring fragment across a gap of stars. Interesting. A strong narrative remains at the heart of the Master Chief's adventure, and your journey between story missions is entirely up to you. So then, what kind of game is Halo Infinite? It's the most open and adventure-filled Halo game ever. It's the Halo game we could only dream about making 20 years ago, and we can't wait for you to explore it. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the February installment of Inside Infinite. I think I've almost lost my voice after going through all that, so make sure you leave a like for that. So make sure you share your thoughts, subscribe today, and until next time,